Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto, brought to you by FIO. Today we're joined by Artem from Mighty. Artem, thanks for joining us today, man.
Hey Wayne, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Glad to have you on. You and I first met. When was it in Istanbul? Was it, or where did we first meet?
In Belgrade, I think. I think in
Belgrade.
Belgrade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, man. All these conferences are meshing together. It's kind of hard to tell which one's which. But yeah, so we met in Belgrade, and you guys are building a great project, a great company called Mighty. Great name as well. But and we'll jump into what Mighty's doing because it holds a special place in my heart when it comes to education. But Artem, before we jump into talking about Mighty, can you tell us a little bit about your background and also curious to know what got you into this space?
Yeah, in general, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So, for almost like entirely my adult life, I've been dreaming about like having businesses, and I never wanted to work for someone. Well, like when you kind of start working for someone, you're like kind of recognize at some point that you don't want to work for someone, for anyone, and for in that case. And I realized it pretty early, let's say like 18 or 19, something like that. And then ever since that, I was striving to do my own stuff, and I did a lot of stuff in like including actually in education as well. So like I was doing private lessons when I was in university. So I was giving like private lessons to high school students and stuff. After that. I got I got a bit of an income from that, but of course it's not scalable. So you would ideally want to do something where you don't spend your time and it just rolls on its own. So I started thinking about businesses, and kind of Bitcoin came in handy. So I was like something like 20 when I first came across Bitcoin. It was 2017, and it was still pretty early. The Bitcoin was price was something like 3 to 4K, and it was like the beginning of summer. I remember it was I was very I wouldn't say young. I'm still young, but it was just a different ball game altogether. And I started reading about it, and I just kind of got so much into it. And I was like, the only thing I was talking about for a while was Bitcoin. So kind of like with a lot of people in this space, yeah. And after that, like after just investing in Bitcoin and like just the first stuff you do with Bitcoin is like trading. You open up all those altcoins, and you're like, what is this world? And then you start reading white papers and a lot of stuff. And then I thought like, okay, I should probably run like a business around this thing. What should I run? So my first idea was to run a fund actually around it, and we ended up having like a private small fund where we basically had like long-term positions as well as algorithmic trading on top of that. So, and because of my background in computing and also in management, we very strange backgrounds, it went really well actually. So we have closed off the fund in 2021, and there was a great time to close off the fund, and started Mighty with the funds from there. And here's how it went, all came to be. And with Mighty, I kind of combined two of my passions here. So I used to do education before. I love crypto stuff. And actually, you can say the three passions because it's education, blockchain, and gamification as well. So, and actually, from the background standpoint, I'm a lifelong MMORPG lover. So I don't play computer games anymore for the past like. Well, actually, ever since I got into crypto, I don't play computer games. It just kind of replaced it. But yeah, I used to be so much in love with gaming and gamification. So this is how it all comes together, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, now gaming's coming into blockchain and
Yeah.
Web3, so you may be back there to playing games. But yeah, absolutely, man. It's funny when we talk. I kind of took a similar path, but it's funny how timing plays a different role because in I guess it was November of 2017, I started a small private fund, but as you can imagine, that was the peak of the bull market and at
Oh,
the end of
yeah.
2017. And so 2018, 2019 were very brutal. and it actually was around that. I guess it was 2019 or so to 2020. I realized that I didn't want to do a fund anymore because no matter what I did, the whole market was going down at that point.
Yeah.
And so I got out of that, but definitely passionate. Both passionate about education. I realize that's what's important. But you added a special note in there, right? I mean, gamification is key because education itself is not fun, right? But most people
Yeah.
think of school, they think of testing and courses and exams. It's not really fun, right? So building educational courses, unless it's something somebody is 100% already passionate about, then basic education just isn't fun. But you gotta make it fun, right? You got to create those same rules like that you get in games where you get rewarded for certain things. You um, achieve different levels just like you would in a game. So I think that gaming experience really helped you to build an educational platform that is not just focused on, oh, come in here and learn, because there's so many places now where people can go and find stuff about crypto, but it's two things that are important, right? It's got to be trusted, and I think it has to be fun as well, right? It's got to be
Yeah.
those two things to really stand out. So as we jump into that, man, let's talk about Mighty. So, or
I
any
want to
comments on what I
actually
just said?
I want to actually touch on Web3 games,
Yeah.
like because this sector is one of my priorities as of like 2 years, let's say, last 2 years, because well, we kind of don't have a separate industry for Web3 learning as of yet. So we are kind of in like merged bubble of like NFTs, gaming, LearnFi, SocialFi, everything all in one place basically. And I do have some strong opinions on that. So like I really think that like our industry as usual, started everything by just putting casino on top of everything, which basically made the progress go backward a bit, like literally. Because, like, for example, like all of this play to earn stuff, basically we had play to earn, well, like as a MMO player, I can tell you, well, we had it forever. Like, basically any proficient player who had invested time or money or any resources would be able to in social environment and in markets will be able to actually connect with other players and basically earn by playing, which is play to earn. But what our industry has done is just made it extremely easy to earn, and which basically defied the whole purpose of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I like, and when it comes to like Mighty, the idea of Mighty in the first place came about to be because I really didn't like the incentive mechanisms. Like in the state of the industry 3 years ago, imagine there is no points. There is like, okay, someone has tried points
Yeah.
somewhere, but nobody really knows about it. And we have a lot of just NFT projects just launching JPEGs left and right, and without any concrete roadmap and whatsoever. And there is like half-baked play-to-earn games which you use to earn money, and then delete the game entirely.
Right.
And I was like, what do you do differently, and how do you have the product which is not for this target audience, not for the casino target audience, but some real, let's say, Web 2, even like that, Web 2 target audience? How do we actually do that? And yeah, and the reason, like, and the edge I found within Mighty and how we can structure all of it in a way that actually works long term is it's coming from very theoretical standpoint. So in the beginning, you have two types of user motivation. It's extrinsic and intrinsic. So extrinsic is the one that all of the Web3 projects I'm very familiar with, and it's putting rewards onto something. And this way of incentivizing users doesn't really work long term. We have studies on that. Like a lot of studies show that, like for example, there's kids that are given either monetary rewards, in some cases candies. When they stop receiving the rewards, when they stopped receiving monetary rewards, especially monetary rewards, their motivation drops below what it was originally, without any rewards whatsoever. And so, like, how do we avoid that, right? What we have to do is we have to have a natural transfer from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation. Because intrinsic, it's something within us, something like the pursuit of mastery, let's say, or you just want to do this thing. This is intrinsic. And what the Web3 businesses should focus on is not incentivizing people per se, but how do you get this transfer from short-term user into an activated long-term user that is really, like, that's what really matters, because you can market everything in how, like, you can spend how many millions of dollars on marketing you want. If it doesn't convert, it doesn't convert. Yeah, and from the user point of view, he is actually getting what he actually needs to in this case, and this is learning in this case, in case of Mighty. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, so much what you said there, I agree with, and I've said it simply over the last few years. Play to earn games, the first iteration, of play to earn games were not fun. People were just playing them for a monetary reward, and that's why when you look at those token economies of those tokens that launch tied to those games, what did you see? It pumps up and dumps, just hype and speculation. There was no long-term sustainability in terms of why would someone want to buy the token, why would someone want to play to earn the token, why would they want to spend the token in the game. Nothing created that circular economy, and that's what happened. And yeah, you're right. I mean, even what you said about NFTs, I agree with too. I mean, NFTs, people don't understand truly what NFTs are because all they saw were just the JPEGs that were put out that had no real utility. And I think until we stop ranking NFTs by floor price and trading volume and start ranking them by utility, right? What do I get with this NFT? Then we're not going to see, until that happens, we're not going to
That's
see
a very
that.
good potential idea. Maybe like alternative to Blur or something with a ranking, with a proper ranking.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we need. I've got an NFT I bought 2 years ago for in New Orleans, which is close to where I live in Louisiana, and that NFT for a lifetime gives me access to a co-working space in New Orleans. I can use the space for events if I want to, and they have a ton of events that they host there that I can attend as a member, and I use it as a co-working space sometimes just to get out of the house. So the value to me is if that company goes away tomorrow, I've already gotten more than my value of what I paid for that NFT out of it. So it doesn't matter what a floor price is because I'm getting value out of it every time I use it.
Exactly. Like like a lot of people were shouting, like utility doesn't matter. I'm like, wow, that's like the only thing that actually matters, and people dismiss it out of the hand. But well, it's just short-term thinking. I'm
Short
pretty sure.
term degen
Yeah.
thinking, right? The same
Yeah.
the same
Well,
people that were jumping into ICOs in 2017, right?
exactly. Exactly. We've
Before
seen
a
it
company
all over.
was even built. Yeah. So it cycles, and some people do they come for that gambling concept, gambling idea, and really, I think what we're left with afterwards is we've got to build the base so people can really see what this really is, right? What
Yeah.
are tokens really used for? What is play to earn, and what should it really look like? The game should be fun, of course. And then what are NFTs and how can I use them for my business? That type of thing. But great,
It
great.
comes me to thinking like about like some of the ways how the games in Web3 get it wrong, and like how we can get it right coming
Yeah,
forward. I think that like the large one of the large aspects that Web3 gaming is, well, they're kind of getting by, so like they're kind of getting it now. So we start to realize that currency distancing is a thing. So and it's been a thing in Web2 world forever for right reasons. So as I said, like when you put dollar tags on things, people stop feeling attached to them. Like I mean, not that much attached, but like they stopped being motivated when they stopped receiving these things, right?
right.
And when we when we talk about like how do we integrate oh my god, I've got lost. Could you get me on track back what I was talking about?
Well, you were talking about when we put a dollar tag on something,
Ah,
people
okay.
get disconnected from it. Yeah.
So, and then when we transfer the users from this side to the actual intrinsic motivation, how do we do that? And Web2 games actually solved this problem a long time ago. So they have rewards, is that they deliberately distance the value of dollars from in-game currency. And this is the key here. So they do it not because they, I don't know, like, of course they want to control the ecosystem more. That was the case all the time. But one of the reasons is that if you don't do it, you get a lot of inflation. You get a lot of extrinsically driven players, to be precise,
Right.
that are going to game the system and they're going to dump tokens, etc., etc. So that's why they don't do it. Uh, and by opening the floodgates, and a lot of Web3 businesses were saying like it's some positive thing, right? They were like, okay, we're going to have like an open market. Yes, there are positives to it, but there are negatives to it also.
Right.
And so like the way you structure these things is very important, and like the architecture of how you maybe you have transparency, maybe you have ownership of the user by the user, right? But then you also distance yourself from dollar value of things as well. So like you can structure these things in the right way that like leverage Web3 infrastructure, and at the same time they're useful and they're good for Web2 people, and they are driving your intrinsic motivation. Yeah. Yeah,
So it's got to be a balance, right? You can't just have
yeah.
monetary incentives off the bat and right there and easy
And
to earn. That definitely
one of
makes
the
sense.
things that we are kind of getting right now is the projects start to realize that the rewards have to be random. And like this is one of the very important things, because if a person knows that if he will complete this and that, he will get the money. Well, the guys from Philippines, Bangladesh, everything, they are ready. Like man,
Game
I
is
know
hustle.
some of these guys from Russia. They are ready,
Yeah.
and they will gamify the system if the rewards are not random. And the emphasis does not have to be on the rewards at all. Yeah,
Right.
as well.
And because at the end of the day, that they don't really care about the game or gameplay. It's just what can they earn by playing the
Yeah.
system. So that makes sense. You know, we've seen a lot with Telegram games lately, and I saw one airdrop.
Oh,
Obviously, there are a lot of them are doing airdrops, right? And I saw one recently that was. I kind of liked the concept because there was a multiplier based on how many tokens they would get.
mhm.
And this is after playing for a while, but the multiplier was based on how old the Telegram account was. So if you have accounts like 20 new accounts that would just basically rush through the game and scored as many points as they could, they didn't get as much of an airdrop as that person that may have casually played the game, but they've had a Telegram account for 3 years or 5 years, right? So it's and that was just, I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of different ways to really tweak and fix that mechanism that deploys tokens. But you're right, it can't be based off of fixed gameplay, because then people will, they'll do the calculations like, okay, I can get this amount of tokens, and yeah, let me jump in and play it, even though I don't care about that game.
That's why points came to be actually, because it's one layer that kind of like how's it called, like distracts the user, like with extra steps basically, to have the token in the end as well. So basically the whole reasoning why like our industry is moving in that direction is precisely because of the reasons I outlined like before. And yeah, I think actually the case of Telegram, how Telegram played it, like the whole from the whole extrinsic intrinsic motivation standpoint is quite interesting, because like they have attracted people onto the platform with extrinsic ways. So they have attracted people with hamster combat, with like Notcoin and all of this kind of stuff, right? And I think that this was actually a very good campaign, because they have like attracted a lot of people with dollar price rewards, but now they are onboarded onto this tool, which is actually very useful in day-to-day life. And now the translation from extrinsic to intrinsic is going to happen, basically,
Yeah.
because now they're here, they already have the wallet, they also have got some money from the airdrop, so now they can use those money. It's crazy. It's good. Like what
Yeah.
they have done is really good.
Yeah, and then they realize how simple it is to launch an app, not just a game, any app within Telegram. It's a
Yeah,
lot simpler than Google Play or Apple App Store. So yeah, it's
exactly.
definitely a great incentive.
That's
So,
why
all right,
Apple Store and Google Store are now starting to allow PWAs, which is basically React apps, or like onto their platforms because they see Telegram just allowing any browser app on it. Yeah, it's super cool.
yeah, they're gonna have to get in line. All right, Artem. So let's jump in. I mean, this is a great conversation. I love where it's going, but I definitely want to share with those listening about Mighty. So, can you tell us a little bit more about Mighty, what you guys are doing there, and what your mission is?
Yeah, so Mighty is kind of like a gamified platform for incentivized learning. So I can kind of explain it like Duolingo, but for Web3, with Web3 topics, with programming, with other tech topics, AI. You can come in and learn, and while you're learning in the gamified environment, you receive rewards by doing so. And the rewards, there is a lot of different rewards. You can visit shop, which you so like in the app you earn XP points, and then you can spend those XP points in the shop for whatever you like. You can also earn other stuff apart from XP points straight in the learning section. So if you visit app.mighty.study, you'll be there and then log in, and then you can study and earn. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what? Obviously, I mean, from our talk earlier, we can tell that your passion for gamification and education in this space led to this. So, how's it been going with Mighty so far? When did you guys fully launch the platform?
Yeah.
And what new developments have you had recently?
Yeah, it's been going actually great. We have launched what was it like? Now it's October, right? So it's been 7 months actually, and when we just launched, it was like a full-on MVP. So we had to get a bit of meat in as well. But right now it's like there is a lot of courses. There is more than 60 courses available, and we are keep adding features. We have a lot of different gamification features as well. So we have leaderboards, we have treasure chests. So we were talking about random rewards. So basically, people receive treasure chests when they study, and they can open them, and there will be like a small chance to get a large reward inside. We also have a dedicated. Oh, one of the defining features that makes Mighty different is our course constructor, and as well as white labeling features. So the course constructor allows any partner of Mighty that is creating, or any teacher that just comes in and registered, create his own space or its own space and create courses on that space as well. So, and all of the like the standard Mighty functionality applies to here. So you can run leaderboards, you can assign rewards to different tests within the course, etc., etc. So it's not only an educational platform, but it's also let's say social platform, or content marketplace, I would say. Yeah. In a sense, and this is something that none of the competitors at this point in Web3 do actually, because there is nothing that is learn and earn together with user-generated content. Yeah, and there might be some businesses actually, but they are in very early stage, and we don't see the products yet. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely agree. So someone can come in if they're passionate about a certain ecosystem, or maybe they work for a certain ecosystem. They can come in and start building courses to teach people about that ecosystem, right? So that's one thing
Yeah.
I like about it. So you've got something for students, anybody wants to come in and learn more about any particular topic. But then if someone wants to, build a community, build a course, they can come in and do it as well.
Yeah, right now we work with Web3 businesses, like mostly, but in general, the vision is to just provide tools basically, and and the content is going to be distributed by the partners mainly. Yeah, and this is basically the end vision for the maximum scale. The reasoning behind it is
Yeah.
scaling. Yeah.
I get that, man. Coming from someone, I've built educational courses, we've built educational products. Man, it's a lot of work, right? And there's so
Oh my
many
God.
different
Yeah.
topics, and it's changing all the time. So with this, you've built a platform, in essence, a community where people can come to and they can lend their expertise and stuff that they're experts on, and create the courses and content, and then others can come in and learn from that.
I would say it's like if I were to put it in like soundbite, I would say it's um, like gamification engine for education, something like this. Yeah, I think I'm around with this punchline on my deck.
Yeah, there you go, man. Love that, love that. So, and it's great. I mean, you and I, we met in Serbia, and then since then, you guys have built a mini course for FIO based on the content from our website, which is
Yeah.
great. I challenge everybody to check it out. So, before we wrap up, man, I definitely want to encourage everybody listening. There's always so much to learn in this space, and things are constantly changing. So, make sure to follow Mighty. So, Artem, can you tell everybody where they can find out more about Mighty and follow you guys?
Yeah, would love to tell. So our main Twitter is, I'm just trying to remember, mighty underscore study. Yeah. And you can follow me at Artem underscore mighty as well. Yeah, would love to. Also, you can DM me. My DMs are open. Would love to answer them. Yeah.
Awesome. So if you're looking to learn, check out Mighty. If you're looking to create content and have a place to put it, also follow, reach out to Mighty, reach out to Artem there. So Artem, man, it's been great talking to you today, man. So much we could talk about. This thing could probably go on for a long time, but I always like to shoot for 20 to 30 minutes in terms of timeline. So I encourage everyone, jump in, check out Mighty, see what they're doing. I know that there's starting to be a lot of educational platforms that pop out, but what Artem said here is important, right? It's important to have a platform that keeps your attention, incentivizes you, and really gamification is the key, because while you're learning, you're having fun instead of, oh, I got to click on this video, I got to watch another video and take a quiz at the end, and hopefully I get it all right just so I can move to the next course.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
totally
right.
agree.
Any final words, Artem, before we wrap up?
I don't. I would say if you're a founder and listening to this, and you are looking to develop something in Web3, please don't get caught up in the current meta. Think out of the box and think about what problems can our technology actually solve. Because if you just get stuck with current meta, you're not never going to be on top of it. Because there is somebody else who is propping up the meta.
Yeah.
So I think that just by going your own way and by searching for solutions to actual real world problems, we can move this industry forward much faster than we are doing it right now.
Absolutely. Wise words, wise words. I definitely agree with you. So that's it, everyone. Thanks, Artem, again for joining us today. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.